huge.
All right, which team? Did you see both teams?
Yes.
All right,
both
so
teams.
Let's start. Packers were first.
Yes.
What was up with the Packers?
Packers talked a lot about kind of this new experience, because it is for almost all of them except, I think, 2.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers talked about, didn't want to say anything stupid, that kind of a thing. Aaron Rodgers doesn't like Favre questions.
That's what Jerry said that before. Someone said that today. No, it was Pete said that he chafed under the Favre questions.
A little bit.
Right?
I thought the Packers seemed like a team that was kind of saying, wow, we're at the Super Bowl. I thought a little bit. Just a little bit.
Little uptight.
Yes, a little bit. Uptight might not be the word, and I don't think nervous is the word.
Wide-eyed?
But wide-eyed is a great word. And Mike McCarthy was not. Mike McCarthy seems very calm. Very
Did the quarterback
in control.
seem calm?
I thought the quarterback seemed a little nervous.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. But I've not been around Aaron Rodgers much.
Right.
Maybe at his calmest, that's how Aaron Rodgers is. I don't know that.
Seems like a very confident player. Woodson's clearly the leader of that team.
He better be.
I mean, that's no question.
Yes.
That's his team. He speaks before every game. So did he have any message for everybody today? Or not really?
I didn't make it to Woodson, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So in picking and choosing our
Who was your Packers today? Who other than Woodson?
Rodgers, Clay Matthews. B.J. Raji.
How was Raji?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Talked about the touchdown.
I thought he might be colorful after his wonderful dance the other day.
A little bit, but not overly. They're not an overly colorful team.
Matthews, how kind of talker is he?
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked him about, how long he's dreamed of playing in the Super Bowl because, I'm doing stuff today for This Week in Football on Yes. You know how that works, Mike.
Right.
Go into commercial, you need a little soundbite from
Absolutely.
a superstar, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of said, well, I guess since we lost last year. I mean, really? Like a lot of guys were 6 years old dreaming of being in the Super Bowl.
And he comes from such a football family.
Yeah, and he did elaborate, and his hair was a topic of conversation.
Yeah, he and A.J. Hook both have a lot of hair.
They do.
Yeah, and they take after Kevin Green. They kind of act like he acts like Kevin Green as a player. Kevin Green was a terrific player. He acts like Kevin Green.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one,
he does.
Mike.
And Kevin Green is, he's there, and he acts like him a lot. The other thing is he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Somehow,
I don't know about that.
Polamalu did not deserve it. This was not even a good Polamalu year.
He changed games single-handedly with a couple of those plays.
The Baltimore game, yes, it changed the game, but he didn't play a couple of games. Couple of games he disappeared, and they were writing stories in the middle of the season. Where is Polamalu? People were saying on tape you couldn't even find him. It was not a Polamalu-like year. I was shocked. Now, Polamalu's an all-time great. I love him. But I did not think this was not even a good year for him this year. I was shocked. Not that I really care, but I was just shocked that he won the award. I thought, other than the Raven game where he clearly changed the game, I think by his own admission, he didn't have a great year for him. This was not like his regular year.
Yeah, and he is impressive in person.
And a great player.
And very soft-spoken. He said he thought his teammates were happier that he won the award than he was. And you believe that?
I believe
James
that.
Harrison finished third, by the way, and you could argue James Harrison could have won the award.
I thought he had a better year than Polamalu.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought Truman Williams had a better year than Polamalu, to be honest with you. I thought he had a great year.
I don't know about that one.
I thought he had an incredible year. I just thought this was really a year where I was watching games saying, Polamalu's in the backfield, the plays down here. Polamalu's guessing wrong. But there was a lot going on with his year where he was not up to his usual great. Now, we have a very high standard for him.
Yeah.
He is an all-time great player. I thought this, I bet you if you could ask those people, who could tell you the truth, they'd say he was not himself this year. There was a lot of stories in Pittsburgh this year about him not playing great this year.
There was a stretch, though, of I think 3 or 4 games where he made the defining play of the game.
He made the play.
But there were 2 other ones, too. I think
that
the Cleveland game, and I think there was one other one.
That came down to one play, though, the Raven game. He doesn't make that play, they lose. I mean, that was without question, and it was a terrible play by Flacco and a bad call by the coach. So, I mean, all the way around. And listen, I'm not talking about him. He's a Hall of Famer. I think he's one of my favorite players. That's why I thought this year was not. I watch him all the time. I did not think he had a great year. I thought Matthews had a sensational year. I really did. I thought a couple of the Packers had great years. I agree with you, Harrison. I thought he was much bigger impact this year than Polamalu was. But again, it's a popularity contest. Doesn't really matter. And I don't think Matthews cares. I think he wants to just win the game. I would hope so.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Now, what goes on with the Steelers? Now they're saying Pouncey might play.
Well, they're not ruling him out, and he said today, 75% I'm going to get out there. He's in a boot, Mike, almost to his knee, and moving very well, and then you look down, he's in the boot. I mean, a big boot, not a boot that you could put a sneaker over. But
I guess anything's possible.
You know, and he's a young kid. He's probably a quick healer. I told you yesterday.
That's a long injury, though, usually.
I know, and Mike Tomlin said it's the high ankle sprain, not the broken bone that's hampering him.
Oh, the high ankle sprain's a 6-week injury, usually.
Right, but you don't know if he could get out there. You also know that he's not going to rule himself out.
Right.
I mean, he's clearly a highly competitive athlete.
And Smith is out now, right? He's now out?
I don't know that they've determined that.
I thought someone told me that he's getting
then you're ahead of me on that one. That one I'm not aware of.
They said he was getting surgery.
He was going to have an MRI to determine.
Yeah, I think he's getting surgery, so I think that's over with now. And I think he was a long shot anyway.
A long shot, absolutely a long shot. Hines Ward said something interesting today, Mike. Well, he said a lot of things that were interesting, but one thing that we were talking about was this Steelers teams are defined by toughness.
Oh,
you know, either side of the ball, whatever, however you want to look at it. And the one thing that he was talking about was last week they lined up ones against ones and they practiced. And he thinks that will help them because he said, you look at their defense, it's like our defense. And he said, if we can succeed against our defense, we can succeed against any defense in the league. Any ones. So I thought that was interesting that Mike Tomlin had them ones against ones. And I followed up with Hines and said, how unusual is that? And he said, unusual. So that's not something that team does very often. And a lot of teams don't, obviously.